Hello, I'm Dr. Bjorn, and welcome back to my evil laboratory. And, okay, I'm gonna, do the elephant in the room thing. Obviously, I'm not in my super awesome replica Rick and Morty lab coat, which would totally sell this mad professor gag. The deal is, I got the lab coat. It finally came, and they sent me a child's small. Like it looks like it belongs on a doll. I'm a 6'7" man. I can't wear it. I filed a complaint with corporate, and we're trying to figure that out. So just pretend I'm in a really cool Rick and Morty lab coat replica, and just enjoy the video. So obviously, just recently I started a new writing project on this channel. I am writing a television adaptation of the Stormlight Archive. So if you haven't watched that yet, you can check it out up here. If you're just clicking on this because you like Stormlight, go roast me for how bad my adaptation is. Guys, I'm trying my best. In the meantime, in between episodes, I like to do smaller projects that are like filler, because those writing projects take forever, right? They take forever. So I was like, well, Stormlight has lots of interesting food, and it's talked about very frequently in the book, so why don't I take a crack at that? So I did. This is a fully invented recipe. I made it up myself. It's sort of a seafood Penang curry. But I've hybridized it and added different ingredients. It's my approximation of an Alethi curry. It's spicy. I'm not doing a sweet curry. I might do one of those in one of the later parts. Because for those who've never read the books, men eat spicy curry and women eat sweet curry. I do use a coconut base because it's a Thai curry. And so some people might go, well, Bjorn, that's actually sweet. Yeah, but I've made this spicy. I put a lot of spice in it. It is spicy. This is after I've cooked it, so I can tell you it was spicy. I did my job, all right? Get off my back, man, all right? So this curry will be a seafood curry. Stormlight Archives, the books, almost everything is a crustacean, a mollusk, or an insect. So since I don't actually have ready access to insects, I've done mollusks and crustaceans. So namely mussels and crab, which will be prepared and cooked in the recipe. So this is not a recipe for you if you're allergic to shellfish. I'm so sorry, man. Stormlight is just like you would not survive in that world. I hate to break it to you, man. You can enjoy your chowder. Alrighty, I'm gonna go into the episode and show you how the curry is made, as they say. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and let me know what Stormlight food you want me to do next. I'll go ahead and spoil the next episode is gonna be Rock's stew. But after that, I want to do more of these. So if you have any ideas, shoot them down below. There's so many foods mentioned in these books, I can't keep them all straight. All right, let's get into the recipe.
First, we're going to have to prepare our vegetables. We're going to start with the potatoes, cutting them into fourths. These are like golden potatoes. You can find these at most grocery stores, at least here in Texas. So since Texas is basically the bastion of the world, I'm assuming you're going to be able to find these elsewhere. Next, we're going to do carrots. You're going to cut these into like little circular carrots like you would typically see in a stew. I don't expect you to be as good at cutting carrots as I am because I'm just that much of an elite cook, but you know, you can try your best to replicate this. All right, now we're going to take those potatoes and carrots, we're going to set them aside, and we're going to come over to a pot of water, which I have boiled. It does not matter how much water you put in here, just that it's enough to cover the vegetables and our crab legs, which are going to go in here in a second. We're going to add spices. These spices are a mix of a whole bunch of different things. It's curry powder, turmeric, coriander, a lot of cayenne, some Kashmir chili powder, also some other miscellaneous things. I'll have a full list. Eventually I'm going to write this in a written form of the recipe, and I'll include that in the comments whenever I finish it, so you can get your full list of ingredients there. Mostly we're trying to replicate the flavor of the curry. I also put a little bit of the curry paste. It is a Penang curry paste, and we're gonna use that just to add a little more of the flavor. The idea here is to go ahead and pre-flavor our vegetables with the curry flavor as well as the crab meat with the curry flavor, because they're not actually gonna cook in the curry so long because we're using a coconut milk based curry. You don't boil that too long else you get frothy. Our flavorings mixed in, we're gonna go ahead and add our vegetables, and we're gonna let those boil until soft. I'm gonna go ahead and time lapse this. All right, now that those vegetables are nice and soft, or about half soft, we're gonna go ahead and add our crab, and we're gonna cook it for about 10 minutes. Make sure the crab is completely submerged in the water. You want this crab to be cooked thoroughly. All right, put your lid on and let it boil. All right, now that our crab is done, it's nice and boiled and it's soaked in that curry flavor. We're gonna drain out our water and set our vegetables aside. We're gonna take our crab, we're gonna start cracking that meat. You wanna pull all the meat out of your shell. You wanna get as much crimling out of your shell as you can. So just keep pulling that crab meat out. It looks nice. All right, next we're gonna do the mussels. Again, the actual curry isn't gonna take very long to cook, so you wanna have all your vegetables and seafood pre-cooked to go into the curry right at the very end. So I thought about cooking our mussels in the curry so that they absorb the flavor. The problems I had with that in practice though was A, they have to steam in the curry longer than I want the actual curry to taste. You'll have all the too much mussel seafood flavor probably going into that curry. And also, you don't boil mussels typically, you steam them to a certain extent in some sort of sauce or flavor. So that wouldn't work for a thick curry that I need a lot of liquid for. So here's what I decided to do is going to be recreating the curry and steaming the mussels in it. So I've made basically the curry again. So to do that, we're going to use butter at first. We'll see our butter, we're gonna melt that down, let it get hot. Then we're gonna add garlic. We're gonna let the garlic saute in our butter for a little bit until it's nice and brown and you can smell it very fragrantly. And then once that's done, we're going to add in our Penang curry paste. You can see me drop that in. And this is gonna take a while to break apart. So we're gonna kind of saute this again till fragrant. You just kind of gotta learn to visualize it. Don't let it burn. When it starts getting really smells really nice. And you can tell that the curry powder is cooked through and sauteed a little bit. Then we're gonna add our coconut milk. I think I added about a can and a half of coconut milk here. I'll get full measurements when I do my paper recipe. Alrighty, so now that we've got that, we're gonna let that cook for a little while, let the curry powder and flavors seep into the coconut curry until it starts to froth a little bit, then we're gonna stop. Now that our curry powder is thoroughly mixed in and frothing has begun, we're gonna add in our mussels and then we're gonna put the lid on and let it steam. So I'll go ahead and speed through all that. All right, our mussels are done, which means it is time to actually make the curry at long last. This is all gonna sound very familiar because we're basically just repeating the steps we did for the mussels, but with a couple changes. So the first thing we're gonna add is our butter. We're gonna saute that butter, and then we're gonna add in the garlic again. I'll kind of speed through all this. We're blowing through it full speed. This is all basically the same. And then next, just like before, we're gonna add our flavor. Now that we've got our garlic sauteed, you're gonna go ahead and add your coconut milk. I think I added 2 or 3 cans. I'd roll back and check the footage, but something like that. Again, those final amounts will be in the written recipe whenever I have time to write that down. All right, we're gonna let that stew simmer and cook. Let the spices mix in with the coconut milk as we stir. In addition to that, we're going to add a couple of things here. I added some sliced Thai chili peppers from my garden. I also added some homegrown lemongrass I made in my garden. However, this lemongrass turned out to be really thin, I guess because I grew it fresh. So I might recommend doing that from the store or growing better lemongrass than I did. Now that all of our curry is boiled and all the spices have mixed in, it smells wonderful. We're gonna add back in everything. So we're gonna add back in our vegetables and we're gonna let them cook for just a little bit in there. Now that our vegetables have soaked in a little bit of the flavor, we don't want that curry getting too hot or it will froth, as I mentioned earlier. So now that we've got that where we want it, we're gonna go ahead and add our seafood. We're gonna add in our crab first. Now we're gonna add in our mussels. I don't put all the mussels in. I just put in a few and then I'll let people add in their own mussels since they're sort of served separately. As you can see, they've opened up and are cooked. If a mussel does not open up, do not force it open, throw it away, do not eat it. All right, and now we're ready to serve. Let's go ahead and see how it tastes. It's actually really good. The crab is sweet. It's absorbed some of that spiciness from the curry like I hoped. Even the flavor of the broth is really good. It is very Penang curry, but I've made it a little more spicy than normal Penang curry, and the seafood flavor is there, but it's not overpowering. All in all, I really liked how this turned out, and I suspect the people of Alethi would get a real kick out of it too.
Well, that's how the curry is made. Ooh, it was pretty tasty. I actually really enjoyed this one. It was kind of a Penang curry, but like there was enough variety there. I've never had a Penang curry with like shellfish in it. It was very interesting, and the mussels steamed in the curry sauce actually worked really well. So I liked the way this one turned out. As I said, I'm gonna do rock next time, the rock stew. Before that, I'm gonna do episode 2 of the Stormlight Archive, so we can get to rock. He isn't in the first episode. I think he should be in the second episode, maybe. I'll actually have to really pay attention because I know I don't want to spoil things for people who've never read the books, but I know where I want episode 2 to end. I want it to end part 1, so I got to check and see if Rock appears by the end of part 1. But whatever, one way or the other, between episodes 2 and 3, I will put out a stew. I'll do a rock stew. I'll probably cook that next week. I already have a vague idea of how I'm going to do it. So, all right, you can look forward to that. Subscribe and like the video and put on the little notification bell, little bell, if you want to see that when it goes up. But otherwise, I will see you all in the next one. Adios.